What is going on, everybody? It's a patient hodler coming at you with another live stream. And today I'm rather unprepared, but I still think I have some really cool things to show you guys. And some of you are already here, and some of you have set a reminder for this live stream. So there you go. He is here. Welcome, When Pokemon. And yeah, let's just, for the people that watch this afterwards, get to the drill first. So everyone, keep in mind that I'm a crypto and NFT investor, but not a financial advisor. So please do your own research before you ape into the crypto projects or the Ecomi token or the Veve collectibles or the Black Panther drop. So yeah. Hey, we got Luigi and Steffi in the house. Let's go. And yeah, so that was basically the quick disclaimer. And welcome everyone to the stream. And how did you guys do about Black Panther, the drop today? Did you get something? I actually missed out. Like almost every drop in this year is really hard to get something right now, because first of all, everyone knows the tricks. And also, I think that was 58,000 editions, so one of the biggest drops that we have seen so far on Veve. And this, besides the burns and everything, it's very bullish sign that you cannot get anything on a drop with 58,000 editions. So there must be, besides the bots, also some investors and some real people that get all these things. Chris, welcome Chris to the stream. When exchanges got an uncommon Black Panther. So congratulations to the uncommon. By the way, yeah, my girlfriend got a common. Actually, the common is, again, like all the other times, worth more than the uncommon at the moment. But I think over the time, due to scarcity, that will sort itself out. Hey, Vitimon. Vitimon's crazy. Vitimon is not missing a single stream right now. I think that we are already at number 12, and I'm hiding the half of my face behind the text. But Vitimon is always there, always at the stream, as some of you as well that I've not mentioned yet. Vitimon's saying, I heard users of OpenSea who were not hacked losing confidence in that platform now coming to Veve. Oh, really? If I meet any, I'll welcome them and introduce them to your channel as part of welcome package. Thank you very much for doing that. Very welcome, obviously, that little extra advertisement, Vitimon. When Pokemon says, I got one common, congratulations. But I know a lot of people who missed. Yeah, exactly. Me too. So most of the people that I know missed. Keenan is in the house. Hey, Keenan, what's up? Again, also someone that I see almost in every stream and under every video. My wife and me got 2 comments and on the 4-minute rebound. Both of you on the 4-minute rebound. So you're basically a rebound god. I tried the rebounds until 20 minutes after and didn't get one. So, still coughing, by the way, a little bit annoying. I hope that's right for you. But before, is there an award for so many appearances? Actually, if you tell me how I can award that, I don't know, maybe it's 1 edition size, but many appearances. So I will think about it if I can award that, besides mentioning that this is really crazy. But I have no clue how to do that, but I will think of something. Anyways, let's jump right into what I have, and it's not so much in terms of new or not so many different topics, but I want to quickly show you something about the Black Panther drop, and I want to show you something about whale games in the Ecomi token, because most of this content will be about the OMI tokens and the OMI mechanics, some questions, some very interesting questions that I have found on social media. And in general, we are going to talk more about Ecomi than about Veve. But still, Veve is the biggest price driver for Ecomi right now. So that's basically the agenda for today. But I promise you, it's going to be quite interesting, especially when we are talking about whales, whale driving price, accumulating, and so on. I'm just kidding. You putting out solid content is my reward. Yeah, okay, thank you very much. I was already afraid that I have to come up with some NFT minting or something, but still, I think it's a good idea to make some little fun stuff about the most appearances, although I don't count them. Anyways, let's get started. Not too many people here. I think most of the people are still on the app flipping around stuff, but we will get straight into the content. Let me know if you want to know something or if I'm not clear enough on something. Let's start off with me sharing my screen, actually, and sharing. Let me just get that here. Sharing this Vanity Fair article about Black Panther from 1 month after the movie came out. So this is from March the 2nd of March the 2nd of 2018. So it's not a new article, but it's pretty interesting because they were saying it's also the first film of 2018 to hit 1 billion worldwide. So in a short time, this movie, this Black Panther movie that we got the collectible right now, hit 1 billion in sales worldwide. So that's pretty impressive, and therefore it's one of the most, I wouldn't say most watched, but a very, very interesting movie here. So the collectible, in my opinion, has a lot of potential, and we are seeing that with these high edition sizes. Usually we were used to finding the common with the high edition sizes under the drop price, and we don't see that anymore. So this is very, very interesting with regards to this article. So I think Black Panther movie, very, very hyped or very favorited by many, many people. I saw also a lot of sad comments on Twitter from people that didn't get it and now have to burn some more OMI by acting on the secondary market. We got Luke001 in the house, first appearance of Luke. Actually, also one of the people that is around since I can imagine, since my first videos. So thank you for the support, Luke. I think you are already well known in the community. Anyways, let's get to the big topic, to the OMI price again, because we have obviously lost our pattern, as we have said before in the streams already. And I'm going to make that a little bigger here for you guys. So we have said that it's time to get rid of the structure, because we can show that as much as we want, we're not coming and pumping back into the wedge of the OMI price. So I'm just going to delete these lines for now, because I want to show you let me get this full screen for you guys. A new structure, let's say. And I want to know from you guys, if you tune in later, then let me know in the comments below. But right now, let me know in the live chat if you see that as well. So we had this wedge, we fell out of it because of obvious reasons, or not so obvious reasons maybe. And we are left with our initial structure. Let's just take a look, center this well here, and just take a look with this. So we had, when OMI was listed on Uniswap, and I didn't even know about OMI at the time, we had this massive pump, and then all the way we came back down, and I was late to the party, but probably this saved my ass, because I would have FOMO'd in right here on the top, probably, by knowing all the fundamentals. And then we got this huge drive down, as you all know. And then from here, from this first point of despair, we came back and started to hovering in this big zone. And I have something interesting to share about this zone and this whole pattern here, because obviously we don't have this rising wedge. So the indicators that I am using, because I'm not a TA guy, I'm not like the classical TA guy that is looking about, I mean, I'm capable of seeing until here some inverse head and shoulder that got invalidated. I could see mountain ranges that could drive us down and so on. So I know some basics about TA, but I only use some indicators here like the RSI, the relative strength index, that shows us basically if at a certain point OMI is oversold or oversold or overbought. We are at the daily frame, so every candle is 1 day of price action for OMI, and that's what's interesting to me. The lower time frames are not so interesting to me, as I consider myself a long-term holder. The weekly would be interesting for me, but there are only a few weeks for Ecomi, but we are looking at that in a second as well. And then we have the MACD, which is basically also showing some momentum, and we have the volume chart here that shows us that we had high volume and it decreased over time. Volume went away, and yeah, we also know that we are not on many exchanges. But let's jump into what I have for you today. So just want to take you with me in this pattern, and please remember this pattern. We are going to swap back and forth now, and there is this article about the Wyckoff accumulation, and I will link that as always in the comment section or in the text section of the video, so you can read it afterwards. I'm not going to read a full article to you. I'm going to show you basically some highlights. Yo, we got Cornish crypto in the house. He's proud to be Cornish. So hello, Al, fill your bags. Yeah, exactly. Not financial advice, but welcome, Cornish. Glad to have you here. So this is the Wyckoff events pattern, and we are talking here about a trading range. So TR stands for trading range. And as you can see, we have phases A, B, C, D, E until we are out of this Wyckoff accumulation. And the guy that found that invented basically this pattern, this Wyckoff, he lived a while ago. He observed this on the stock market. There was no crypto around when he invented this, or he observed this pattern of massive players accumulating. But I think we can derive some knowledge from that, and that's what we are going to look at here right now. And we are going to swap back and forth from this pattern to our Ecomi chart, and I want to know from you guys if you see the same similarities as I do, or if you say, patient hodler, full of shit again, doesn't make any sense, and so on. So we got this drawdown as an initiation, basically, of the Wyckoff accumulation, but it's already part with these like bounces and then going to certain support levels. So what do we see on the preliminary support, where substantial buying begins to provide so the preliminary support is this one here, where the last bounce is, because we go to one of the lows, excuse me, where substantial buying begins to provide pronounced support after a prolonged down move. Volume increases, so this is important. We have a prolonged down move, volume increases, and price spread widens. We cannot see that in the charts directly. We can see it in the candles though, signaling that the down move may be approaching its end. So let's go back to our OMI chart and let's look at this beginning here. So in my opinion, we have this prolonged, I'm sorry, I'm clicking stuff. We have this prolonged down move here, yeah? And we have this, like these bounce backs 1, 2, and 3 times. So it doesn't have to be like exactly that pattern, but we have it here like these bounces in the down move, downtrend. And what I would say is that basically this on the very end could be our preliminary support, because we have read in that article that it's when the volume increases again after the downtrend. And gladly we have the volume chart here. So if we look at our drawdown here, we have the bounce coming up again, and we have volume coming up again here before we decreased again here. Okay, so next part is the selling climax. So selling climax, the point at which widening spread and selling pressure usually climaxes, and heavy or panicky selling by the public is absorbed by larger professional interests at or near a bottom. So that is when basically whales decided, after determining where a preliminary support, so the future upper end of the whole scenario would be, when they decide to move in, like the OMI whales that we know with billions of OMI, when they just open big positions, and often price will close well off the low in a selling climax. This is important, reflecting the buying by these large interests. So we see that here we had this preliminary support, we came up again, and then the price was driven into the floor again in with a panicky movement completely into despair. And that's when we reached here the second oversold in our pattern. So that selling climax, in my opinion, was back in June, and we see it here. So the price drove exactly further down, like from where it closed on that day. Basically it was 30% lower. So it looks a little bit, but compared to where we are right now, this is a big move. And it came back up and then was followed up by this huge candle. So we have huge green volume coming in. Like, can we see the volume here? Like how much that was? I'm not quite sure. But anyway, so this is basically exactly describing that selling climax. And then this is followed by step number 3. Hello, John. John says, if I had more money, I would be buying for sure. Yeah. So that's also what happens to me. I buy on these dips and I run out of money, but you should always have some money on the sidelines to be able to buy when there is more. Like, let's say you DCA here, you want that money, you want to have more money when you're here instead of here and then running out of money all the way down. Anyways, let's look at the third part of the Wyckoff accumulation. So it says here, the automatic rally, which occurs because intense selling pressure has greatly diminished, a wave of buying easily pushes the price up. This is further fueled by short covering. I don't know, it's probably not possible to short OMI because they are on so few exchanges and were on even fewer exchanges back in those days. But the high of this rally will help to define the upper boundary of an accumulation TR. So you have this automatic rally to a certain point, and that defines the upper boundary in which the whales would continue. So we have that here as well. So we have now step 3 of 3. We have that. We have huge buying and selling pressure going away, like eliminating all these buy orders here, and then buying again. And now we have some, like, one initial upper boundary here that we have tested here again, and then we came up to this pattern here again. So I know I'm talking a lot of pattern, probably it's not interesting to everyone, but I want you to understand that if this is really a big Wyckoff accumulation, then this is whales like determining all of what is happening here all the time. And that's also the reason why it's seemingly like it doesn't matter what happens, good news or bad news, the price just moves somehow, right? So if we look now at this structure that follows this automatic rally and the setback here, like the second test, and I mean, it's not similar, and not every Wyckoff accumulation is the same, but let's say we have like these two tests here, and we have now this structure that is coming down. This could be our latest drawdown into the absolute low of the structure, into the phase C, where we have the spring. Like we would have a secondary test here, which we probably saw here when we drove down after this rally. So the secondary test that is happening is like these tests that are happening in this phase are for the whales to determine where the upper and lower boundary is, where they can pump and dump to accumulate more coins. So the secondary test says in which price revisits the area of the selling climax. So it didn't show up there quite well, but it came close. Test supply-demand balance at those levels, or at these levels. If a bottom is to be confirmed, volume and price spread should be significantly diminished as the market approaches support in the area of the selling climax. It is common to have multiple STs after a selling climax. So like we have these tests here again, and these drawbacks, and then there was selling pressure coming in, and now we are having this formation, this phase B formation, in my opinion, that we are seeing here. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think that could be, that looks similar? Does that make sense to you? Because right now we would be probably in somewhere in this area in the end of phase B, if that would really be a Wyckoff accumulation. And that, like, if we would be in that, that would mean that we would have a drawdown now, a final shakeout to these areas here, like to at least to these to this line here, basically to this preliminary support, or even to the selling climax areas. That would mean that we would follow a drawdown here. But it can happen, like, I mean, it can happen that we are moving in these ways, and therefore the RSI would move like somewhere down here and draw us lower. So the RSI being oversold does not necessarily mean that we go up. You see this here, RSI oversold, but the second time it went up, went into oversold. The second time we were even lower here. So you see that this could happen here as well. And then we would have this mountain in this phase B mountain, in the Wyckoff accumulation, the whale accumulation of big players, and then we would have the spring and the test of the spring. So, and therefore in this article it says springs or shakeouts usually occur late within a trading range and allow the stocks, in this case the cryptos, dominant players, to make a definitive test of available supply before a market campaign unfolds. A spring takes price below the low of the trading range and then reverses to close with a TR. I don't know if we could actually go below this, but yeah, I think this could be basically happen, that we have this final shakeout driven by whales, and yeah, that this happens. So, but enough of the TA, because Fred is saying, I'm actually interested to know your day job, or anyone else can share. I can share that I'm not saying that I do not have to hide anything. So I'm working in a sales job, 9 to 5 or 9 to 9 or something like that, and selling for a tech company, which is also the reason why I'm invested in VeChain, because I'm very close to the logistics industry. So that is basically what I'm doing. And in my free time, I'm going live and chat with you guys. So Fred is also saying, actually TA doesn't matter because the volume is too little right now. It's just gonna go up to 0.008 and come down and go up until there's some catalyst, like more exchanges or massive buybacks. I agree, but the reason, like, we know that most of the OMI is in the top 100 whale wallets, and it's around as many billions of Ecomi. So all the power of that rests with those whales. So if we have bad news like now with Russia and Ukraine, with the Fed rate hikes and so on, it's easy to manipulate the price, drive the price down, and create a shakeout for OMI investors that are in, like, let's say someone watches all those videos, like the $10 price predictions, the $1 price predictions that I also have long term, but and starts DCAing here. They would be massive in the red, and they start to doubt everything. And then they look at Twitter and social media, and they see all of FUD, like Veve fucked up minting, and like founders selling off their tokens and stuff like that. So it's easy to create these drawdowns here. It's not, the reason why I show this to you is not to determine any price targets. It could just, if the whales decide to, it could just reverse here. I just want to show some possibilities here. Actually, I'm trying to delete that. Why is it not deleting? What the heck? Anyways, oh, so many dots here, so that's why. Anyways, it could, I know, I'm well aware that some buy orders from the whales can just completely change the pattern. What I want to try is to make a point that these accumulation patterns happen when massive entities are moving within the market and playing around with the retail investors that are in this market. And that if we would have a Wyckoff accumulation here, then that would be sort of like proving the obvious. And but I want that as many people stick to their OMI holdings, not because I need that for my life, but because I think that some people are being scared out of the OMI here, and they're just like stripped of their possible potential wealth here. So that's the reason why I'm showing that, not to put any fib retracements and put any price targets. So it doesn't matter if we go hit 1 cent or not, something. I want to show you the price action here. So in my opinion, this could be the case, but someone here has, Ole actually has the ST and phase B is much higher than the ST. So no, I don't think the pattern is relevant. Let's look at what he says. The ST here in phase B, this one, is much higher than the ST here. So the ST in phase B is much higher than the ST of what? Like the ST and the ST phase B. But okay. So, and on the OMI pattern, yeah. So we don't. That's true. We don't have the drawdown right to these levels as in the pattern. So I don't know how much it has to differ to invalidate the whole pattern. I don't know. But I saw the similarities. Oh, the SC, yeah, but I know what you mean. I get what you mean. The SC. If you know or play poker, you look like 80% like Fedor Holz. He's German too. I will look that up after the stream because I don't know the guy. I like to play poker just for fun, but I'm not really that good. But I will look that up. Thank you, Fred. Robel says, hi, a patient hodler. Love your content. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you so much. And while we're at it, I completely forgot to say that, but smash up the likes on the live stream so that helps the algorithm getting it out. Consider subscribing to my channel and tapping the bell to always get notified and to not miss out when I do live streams, usually Wednesdays and Sundays. And yeah, glad to have you guys here. Thank you, Fred. Interesting insight. Yeah, so that is basically everything that I have for now. We will see how it plays out. It could be also just a gigantic like A, B, C, D, E and out pattern. Ultimately, it is depending, as Ole rightfully says, on the fundamentals and on what whales decide to do with this little volume and the little liquidity. JP is saying, once the bear market is announced, it's not being announced. I mean, everyone will see that it is a bear market once critical levels are passed, right? and actually the bear market has been announced since 6 months, but still a lot of indicators look bullish. But we'll see a huge pump with a blow off top, followed by a huge crash into bear market. So you are saying that we are going to have one more bull run, one more spike out of this before we are going into the bear market. I kind of agree. I kind of agree this would maybe make sense. JP, why you think we will have a huge pump? Yeah, I mean, the huge pump also finally depends on the evidence. But if we know, like, BTC is the big boss. BTC is kind of oversold. It's not fully oversold, but everything will follow BTC. And what we see on exchanges is that the BTC available is just plummeting. Like the circulating supply of BTC is just going down, 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 but the price did not move yet. So it kind of indicates that there will be another explosion of Bitcoin. And the question is, I mean, we can look at that quickly. So the question is, if Bitcoin explodes one more time and it forms a shoulder, like it's not passing this high, then you have yourselves shoulder, down we go, right up into the bear market without new all-time high. Or we're passing that, we're forming new all-time high, and then I don't know, maybe blow off top, maybe the prolonged cycle theory is still in place. I don't know, but I think I agree with JP that we will have another pump here. Anyways, so much for whale games. So I think the most important thing, in my opinion, is that we are prepared for a final shakeout that could happen, whether it's Wyckoff or not. I believe that whales will try to do that whenever they can get some FUD news to ride the price down and then accumulate big chunks back. So Fred is asking, what do you think of Russia versus Ukraine? Actually, I want Russia to invade so we can get coins cheaper. No malicious intent. That is, I didn't say that, Fred said that, right? But yeah, so actually, let me just move to that slide. So here, I have shown that I have to recycle some slides because today I have had no big time to prepare stuff here. But yeah, so it's one of the big factors, obviously, that is driving the prices right now. And there is an interesting discussion to that I wanted to put out here as well, but I will come to that afterwards. So what I think is, we remember, I don't know if you guys remember that, but there was a time when there were separatist regions like Abkhazia and South Ossetia in Georgia. And it was basically the same situation. Not Georgia in the US, the country, like with Yashvilis in every name. I think the president had a name like that. And Russia kind of did the same thing and invaded those regions and just moved some army into the country. And Georgia was basically defeated within 3 days without any further resistance. So I think that the maximum that will happen, but I could be totally wrong on this, and this could develop into a full-fledged war. But I think what happens is that they will go to Donetsk or the Donbas region, deploy troops, and to Luhansk, and they will just put out a statement basically that Russia can do that without the West harming them in any like war technical way. Put out a statement, free in their opinion the separatist regions, and that's it. And the West will react with sanctions, like Germany will not build or not let Nord Stream 2 connect to the gas net, and so on. So I think that that's going to happen, and maybe this is going to happen with some little war fights here and there. But we have seen ultimately that countries are not committing anymore to like these full-fledged wars, as we saw it with Syria as well. when they bombarded some stations, but there was no like full invasion war and deploying like hundreds of thousands soldiers to the ground or 50,000. So we will see how it develops. But thank you for the question. And actually, here's the thing that came up today in a discussion with another viewer, and that was, is Ecomi, like, is it in any way affected, the price action by Russia and or by what Russia does? And in my opinion, yes, I would say, why is the camera so okay, now it's better focusing. I would say yes, because even though it's not being traded on so many exchanges and with so many retail investors, there's still an allocation that we see right now in the whole crypto space, that venture capital investors, funds investors, like portfolio investors, Wall Street investors are coming into the space, and they are also buying in some little share of their portfolios risky investments like small crypto projects. They are buying into metaverse and NFT projects, which is the trend at the moment and a very, very strongly developing market. And these guys have still treated all the crypto like if it was stock. So Wall Street doesn't move or doesn't see crypto as much as an asset as it really is. So that was also the reason why when they sold tech stocks off big time, they also sold Bitcoin off, which doesn't make any sense. But they were like, Bitcoin is tech, and we are selling off tech stocks because tech stocks in the Wall Street book are risky. So we have to sell Bitcoin, Ethereum, Polygon, and whatever we have in the portfolios as well. So if you have large investors and whales reacting that way, then if crisis rises on the horizon, they are going to sell off crypto, even though it doesn't make sense. Does that does that make sense to you guys? Because to me, it makes a whole lot of sense. Like if I imagine this Wall Street guy and he's doing some analysis and he says, yeah, Ecomi is a good play. I will allocate like 0.5% of that big portfolio of the money, which is a couple of millions, to that token because they are in NFTs, they are licensed, they have the metaverse coming up, at least they're talking about it. And so that is a risky investment. And then like the new variants come up and the protests come up and Russia and Ukraine comes up, Fed rate hikes come up, and they say, playbook of me as a Wall Street investor is sell a big chunk of the 0.5% of the portfolio. It's risky, and I will allocate and move that to bonds, like to treasury or something like that. So that, for me, at least makes sense. Fred saying, so last year, non-circulating burned about 30 billion. Do you think we can burn like 80 to 100 billion non-circulating this year? Seems possible if David forecasts 1 billion in sales. It depends, and it depends on many factors, but I'm glad you asked, and let me just quickly find the right slide for that from yesterday. That would be this one. So actually that is, okay, so here we go. So I see, and I want to combine that with something that I found very interesting yesterday, or that I came up with as an idea. And that is, you know, that the OMI price burn depends on the current market price when you wrap up OMI into a gem, because one gem has to always equal $1. So the amount of OMI that is locked up in one gem depends on the market price. So if you have one gem is $1 and the price of OMI is 1 cent, then one gem will comprise or will contain 100 OMI. And we are also knowing that the full amount of these 100 OMI will be burned when this gem is being spent on a store purchase like the drop from today. And we'll come to the example quickly again, or revisit that one, just to make it clear. So in that analogy, like let's say we have an average price of, as we've seen, of ½ cent for one Ecomi token, and you have 162.1 million users, and the burn was 30 billion throughout this whole average, then you would take 8.3 years to burn through the whole reserve wallet, and you did not touch, in all the 8 years, you wouldn't touch the circulating supply. So that's why some people say that the whole concept is bullshit and it doesn't make sense and they're fudding around. But here's the thing. These 30 billion with its average price, they are the result of OMI, of Veve launching the app and having in the first days only 160 users. 160. Donnie comes out and stuff like that. Like, Todd is sitting on the market. There are a couple of hundred users on the app that don't know what to do, and they wouldn't even pick up a Todd at, I think it was 75 gems or something. I was not on the app at this time, so I don't know. But fact of the matter is that by the time that half a year passed, they didn't even have 1 million users. And then in the end, at around Christmas, suddenly we were at 2 million users. So what people are picking here, or cherry picking for FUD arguments, is an average that they are assuming that Veve will continue. That Veve will continue with an average somewhere between 160 and 2.1 million users right now. So that would be less than the 2 million now that cost 30 billion burn. That Veve will continue to have these users for 8 years. And that is completely unlogical. Like this, if you see the growth of the numbers of users on the app, it's not logical to assume that we will stick around below 2 million if we have 2.1 million right now. So that's point A. The second point that I want to make here is, let me get rid of this quickly. The second point here is, let's invert, and I said this yesterday as well, let's invert the situation. Let's not think of how much OMI has to burn to deplete the reserve wallet, but let's think about how much the Ecomi price has to rise if the users rise like they are at the moment, to maintain OMI in the wallet and to save Reese and David Yu and the others from having to buy back from us. And the reason here why I show this is because if you think it from that angle, you see what has to happen to the price just to maintain a burn rate. And we're having 2.1 million users. And let's say, for the sake of mathematics, that we are going to stick with 2.1 million users and that we are counting from 30 billion to 50 billion, if we consider 2.1 million users all the time for the next years, like there's no growth, no new users coming into the app and the price stays the same. So we would burn through the reserve wallet in 5 years. Nothing would be left in the reserve wallet if we would stay the same on price and users. So that also means that if we would stay the same on price and double the users, we would burn through the reserve wallet in 2.5 years. So in 2.5 years, nothing would be left in the reserve wallet. And then that would mean that Veve wouldn't be able to forge gems anymore. And that would be very, very bad, because that is how they do it. Like, that's the underlying system. But don't fall into despair. There is obviously a mechanism against this. But let's go first with these numbers. So let's say the people's count double, and we want to preserve, OMI in that wallet, and we are thinking from the other side right now, then the price has to be at least 1 cent with 4.2 million users on the app, and not calculating exponential potential of all the other utility parts, to still maintain the 5 years horizon. Then even if we would double the price to 1 cent and we have double the users, it would take then 5 years to deplete. In 5 years, then they would be still out of OMI. So that also means if we have and it's a realistic target, like having the user count of Pokemon Go, for example, like 50 million users, to then, with 50 million users, preserve the reserve wallet would need us to go beyond 10 cents to have at least a little bit less than 5 years of Ecomi in the reserve wallet until it goes to fully zero. But you cannot start buybacks if you are on fully zero. Like if you see that the reserve wallet is going below 100 billion or 80 billion OMI, that's probably when management says, dude, we need to buy some more OMI because we are running out and price probably is rising. Okay, so obviously if the price would rise to 10 cents now, we would burn for each gem only 10 OMI instead of 100 OMI. But this is not the case. In fact, the price is plummeting, and the reason and that's the reason why we are increasing our burns at the moment, and we'll look at an example right now or in a couple of minutes where you can see what happened if you haven't seen it before in videos. JP says, and my video is gone, so here, yeah. JP says, IMO, when BTC touches the 11-year resistance, we could see the blow off top surpass 11 years resist, but it's all bull trap for new investors, then crash to BM to the bear market. Okay, then new cycle, shorter cycles, and huge economic growth. Yeah, so I mean, scarcity on Bitcoin is everything, digital gold and so on. Many people and institutions FOMOing in. But yeah, there could be a bear market, there could be a 80% correction. And we'll see what happens. I will just keep buying. I'll just have it. I've set up some DCA plan and I'm following that for Bitcoin. So last year, Fred says, your last year, no, that was the initial question. So Fred follows up here and says, seems likely if you put it this way. So if Veve experienced some kind of exponential growth, they might burn 100 billion plus even if the price increases. Yes, exactly. So there is, let's say, there is this balancing mechanism, right? You see the burns go high, and then the people start investing because they see how high the burns are, and therefore the burns are lowering because the price is increasing. And when people see the burns coming back, then they will sell off part of their OMI and take profits and so on. So you have this regulating factor in that. And obviously the OMI utility program is basically aimed at regulating this more by having lockups by staking, which then increases the price, which then lowers the burns a little bit. But it's not like that we are decreasing in burns. Our increase in burns will be lower over time with some price spikes. But now we have the contrary, and we have a lot of OMI being burned additionally that would not have been burned if we would be still at the price level up here, like up here. So this crash causes hundreds of millions of OMI being burned extra. There would still be in the reserve wallet if we would have stayed like moving sideways here. But for metaverse probably this means a lot of people should start playing around and learning to build on for platforms for the metaverse. That's the future. I agree. Metaverse will be one of the big trends, but there's not only one big trend. There's like the big trend of NFTs, but NFTs are so much more than only collectibles on metaverse. Like NFTs are certificate proof of ownership for digital objects, right? Or for digital assets, let's say. So you could do way more with NFTs, and probably Veve is going to do that as well. But now let's just finish this up quickly with the burns. And actually, if you see it differently than I do, or if you see the contrary, then please let me know and we'll discuss it. So today we had this drop with 58,000 additions, 50 gems each, total spent $2.9 million or 2.9 million gems in 1 second. I didn't get a drop. I wanted a drop. I didn't get one. So there was literally 2.9 million gems spent in 1 second. That also shows you that whenever they are probably dropping anything like in higher edition sizes, which they have to do right now because people are missing out on the drops and they don't get anything, and that takes away the fun, and the fun is part of the game. So the edition size is increasing towards the people that are on the app. That means a lot more gems, a lot more locked up OMI that is fully burned, because store purchase burn 100% of the involved OMI wrapped up in that crystal. So here's the comparison again. February 15th, as I've shown you before here, that was this point, compared with where we are right now at this bottom at the time, or at around the drop. So you have these two prices here, and according to those prices, these burns happen, right? So you have 449 million burns at this price, but now that we dipped, we have an additional 200 million that we burned away in 1 second. In 1 second additionally. So it was 657 million OMI, like more than half of a billion, because of this. We burned through this. Like, if that happens more and more, the reserve wallet will be empty. Not empty, but going below 200 billion in no time. And Jeremy Padawa said that in that interview on the Quell stream, he is calculating with burning through the whole reserve wallet within 2 to 3 years. So that is a realistic horizon, which also means if you burn through the whole wallet in 3 years, you have to start buybacks way before, because you cannot start buybacking. Oh yeah, there is 1 OMI left in the wallet, guys, what do we do? Hey, let's do some buyback. No, that will obviously not be the case. Like, they will calculate that like we do, and look at the price and what could happen until then. And probably my theory still is that they cannot say it, but they are accumulating also some OMI along the way while the price is pulling back, to have something to fill up that reserve wallet in the future. Because, like, be honest, guys, if you would be a manager of Ecomi right now and you think like, one day we have to do buybacks, yeah, let's say until let's wait until the price is 10 cents and then we do buybacks. I probably think it would be smarter to do some, buy a couple of million of OMI, or a billion or two right here or here, if you come back to that. Sorry, you cannot see that. Like, on these pullbacks, like buybacks here, and just stack them somewhere in another whale wallet, and then come up with like, yeah, guys, by the way, we did buybacks. Yeah. Fred says, a lot of NFT utility right now is just bullshit. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And also a lot of NFTs are just garbage. And there will be, I'm pretty sure, another prediction, and please don't criticize if that doesn't come true, but because then we will be all happy. But another prediction is there will be, as crypto winter, there will be also NFT winter. Like, there will be some point, maybe not on Veve, but if you look at all the garbage on OpenSea, there will be at some point where people will start trying to liquidate all at once their NFTs, and the price of most of them will just go away. And maybe even on Veve for stuff like the designer con things that are scarce but not really known. And then only grails will hold the most value. I mean, we see it right now in a dip like that. So I think the Dragon Girl came back to the prices before that massive run up, while Disney NFTs and Season 1 collectibles did not come back to those prices. So you see already there are some collectibles that behave like this, and there are the other ones that maintain value. Other utility of NFTs, though, as Fred says, like that, the best thing about NFTs right now is you have an artist, you have the IP, the intellectual property, and you have a certificate that this is original, and that you are a buyer of a so-and-so scarce thing that is from that official license or this artist, and you can have a real artist attachment, like an artist really being paid at his lifetimes, right? So he can put out something really cool, we buy it, he gets a part of the share or the fee. Now on Veve it's more licensed than artists, but like, imagine music, imagine paintings. You could really get, you could have people that, there are so many good painters out there, that are poor because they have no visibility. Now that digital space can give them visibility, and some people that would have never been discovered have the chance to use the NFT space to really get paid because they're so good, right? So I think that's the useful side. The other side is like that there are a lot of scams around some supposed NFT utility, but we're kind of safe from that on the Veve app, I guess. Fred's also saying, I think Veve would do with 120k editions sooner than later. Yeah, exactly. And then if you have more than 2 million people with 120k editions, you still have like only 5% getting the drop. So there's still 95% missing out. And if the numbers are increasing, probably at some point there won't be so many drops below 100k editions, because people might be going after that so much that they have to increase to attract more and more people. Or gamification, where you can earn some NFTs or get some assets for your NFTs. But yeah, very, very interesting input. Thank you so much, because actually, you know, the stream lives from such input, right? But I'm trying to find another slide that I've shown in the video yesterday as well, just to put some additional thought on the price right now. So what I've criticized, or what I've said in the last video, was that we have the traders and the retail investors, like we have them all over. And it's me as well. Like, this is me. Like the guy, the Neanderthal here, that's me. Yeah, I'm doing videos, I'm doing live streams, I have a little bit of OMI, and I'm telling people to hodl, to DCA, to not fall into despair because we are going up, blah, blah, blah. But the fact of the matter is, I can only do that. I hold no power whatsoever to manipulate the price. I can only do that because if you look at the share, there are so many types of investors that hold really big chunks of Ecomi tokens that they are literally, if they dump 1 million into the market right now, the price will have a big red line, because there are not as many buy orders set to get that until they reach the whale buy orders, where whales buy in again, right? So we would have just straight red line if that would happen. Yeah. Fred also asks, are you waiting for Recur too? I'm waiting for Recur because I was late to Veve. Actually, I first of all, no, I'm not waiting for Recur. And I highly disagree on the statement here, because in my opinion, so Veve is out 1 year. In my opinion, no one that joins now is late to Veve. In my opinion, everyone that is coming into Veve now is just not in the pioneer phase of a market cycle anymore, but is still an early adopter. Because you have to see, Veve is a big project in a tiny, tiny market. There are so many people out there that don't know what crypto is, that don't know, or that are not in that space. And there are some, wait, I did a slide on that. Let me show you this as well. So this is the slide. If you really think about, so we are in a little bubble here, like the guys that are in the stream, in the chat right now, you are with your head in crypto, decentralization, NFTs, you know what all of this is, altcoins, bitcoins, DeFi, staking, you know what all of this is. And if we think in that mindset, we suddenly believe that the whole world knows this as well. Like, you come to a conclusion, you are 4 weeks in, and you think everyone is suddenly investing in crypto, and so on and so on. So you really observe this type of thinking. But the truth is, you have people, and some of these people are concerned, a fraction, a share is actually concerned with the money. But most of them are working a hamster wheel, and then they buy the newest PlayStation, and they buy the newest sneakers, and they take a loan to buy some Tommy Hilfiger stuff or whatever the brand is, and to go to concert and to do traveling and so on and so on. So they overload their credit cards for that. Then there are some people that actually think of growing their money and not only saving, and they are investing, and they are buying treasury. They are saving somewhere on a bank account for 0.003% interest, although the inflation is eating up 7% of their wealth right now. So they don't know that they're actually not saving, but burning money. And then there are some people that are investing in stocks and so on. But this is already a tiny fraction. Like, go around your workplace, go around your friends, like do an inquiry just for your own, like do the polls for yourself and ask people out, do you invest? How do you feel about stocks? What do you think about crypto, Bitcoin? Have you already dealt with? Do that, and you will see that even on Bitcoin, you are fucking early. Now, then there are the hardcore Bitcoiners that don't think about, now there's crypto at itself, like I said, but then there are all the hardcore Bitcoiners, and there are people that looked for alternatives and found the altcoins, and there are people that are looking into XRP and so on. But now in your inquiry, you already have some results. And these results are that most people are not in crypto. Some people heard about Bitcoin, think that's a Ponzi, a scam, that it's dirty, that it's for laundering money, and all the stuff that they are saying from time to time in the news on Bitcoin. So that is how early you are in crypto. And now you go, if you have remaining people that actually say, yeah, I put some money into crypto, or yeah, I'm investing as well, then you go into metaverse and NFT and ask them about this chunk. And then you see, if you still have one person left, then you're better than me. I talked about crypto with each and every one, and about NFTs, or you're equal to me, because I have one other person in my family and friends that actually knows about this and what I'm talking about, without me having brought it to them. So this is how early you are in that space. Now, Veve does only exist 1 year. It's the first project with massive licensed NFTs. And most of this first year, Veve has spent setting up infrastructure. Like, the market was down, the app didn't work, the comics were all like sorted badly, you couldn't find anything and stuff like that. So really, the app is working since the app is working since half a year, really on a professional level, right? And yes, we were too late to buy Todd from the store and to buy Todd at 200 gems. Yeah, we were too late, and probably we wouldn't have had the far side to do so. But there are still and almost only first drops, first NFTs, and still first verticals and drop types to come to the app. So you cannot tell me that you were too late to Veve right now, when there is still car collectibles, sports NFTs, gaming NFTs, anime, Pokemon, maybe. So please don't, I know, I'm convinced you're probably not, or some of you are not, but all this stuff, metaverse, land sales, all this stuff is still about to come. Like, today we had a first appearance, first ever Black Panther collectible, and you're telling me that you were too late to Veve. And then you're telling me that you're waiting for Recur because of that. And I have to tell you, I didn't buy a Recur pass, and I'm not convinced that ever anything like really life-changing will come out of that project, because everyone is going crazy at the moment. Like, look at Recur. Recur has cash out. Yeah, cash out for what? For what? Recur doesn't have collectibles to cash out, right? Or am I mistaken? And I mean, I'm not on Recur, so my knowledge about that is limited. But as far as I recall, there is a secondary market for Recur passes that are actually so easy that someone 2 days after Recur pass came up with an OMI pass that looked the same and gave this away in giveaways, right? So yes, maybe you can get access to licensed collectibles on Recur, and I'm not going to shit talk that this project cannot succeed, but I think it's wrong to say that you're late to Veve and that you cannot make a life-changing difference anymore on Veve. I think that's completely wrong. I think that you still can, and that the game, you're too late to make it only from drops and only to participate in drops because you will get only something every now and then. The real game, excuse me, guys. I need a sip here. The real game is on the secondary market now, and the same as crypto. You think you were late, but if you would have just started right now, you could have bought some of the first. Sorry, guys, just had a cough here. The first collectibles of some of the drops for exact drop price, and you even get to choose the mint, right? So, for example, Peely dropped for 40 gems, and you were or are able to pick up the main character of Peely for 50 gems. So that's a difference of only 10 gems if you had gotten a common on the drop, or if you buy it from the secondary market and actually even maybe find a good mint that is meaningful to some Asian in the future, because we still, these collectibles, they will still fire up in value. Like in 1 year, people will look back and say, damn, I should have bought some Peely. I should have bought some Black Panther. I should have bought, when I had the chance, I don't know, some Guardians of the Galaxy little tree in the dip, or some Vision comic. So this is only my take on that, but I wouldn't rely on Recur to make life-changing money, because you're still able to like 100x your investment on certain collectibles if you buy in the dip. And if you flip a little bit around, and actually I'm really bad at flipping because I'm so attached to the collectibles that I buy that I'm always like, I want to hold on to that collectible. And actually I'm afraid if I sell it now, that the price will never come down. And each time the price comes down again, and I'm like, had I only sold this collectible, I could buy that back and still have the gems like that I spent initially. I could have bought that back. But yeah, that's my take on how early we are in Veve at the moment. And actually, if you look at the price of Ecomi, of Veve, of the collectibles, just take the price of the collectibles and how good they are and how much of the license they are, and that they are first ever Peely, first ever Disney, first ever I don't know what drops, and compare that to how some collectibles are going on OpenSea, like 50 ETH, 10 ETH. We are still way below on most of these collectibles. So yeah, so there are 10,000 CryptoPunks. I mean, CryptoPunk is like generic, it's like a brand, and they're all different, so it's not comparable. But if you look at some other NFTs where like different versions, they are still out there for several ETH, and they are outperforming sometimes. Even something that doesn't look so good is outperforming still a walled statue. So that is, yeah, I don't know. I just think that we are going to see more and more price increase. And by the way, the first ever comic traded, I think, a couple of weeks around below 1,000 gems. And now look at it. It's like the floor price in the dip is 60,000 at the moment. But anyways, so that is that. What else do we have, guys? I'm already talking 1 hour and 10 minutes about all of this. So I'm just looking at here at my slides to see if I missed anything or if I still have something for you. Yeah, because it's so funny, I just show that again. Just decrease the screen. So my final statement is, don't be the fish here. Don't be this little fish here that's like, oh my god, OMI is going down, I have to sell, I have to preserve some value. Like, don't be these guys right now with your OMI tokens, because finally the big bad whale will get you and move away with your OMI tokens, right? So I think that's funny, and I'm probably going to show that way more times here. Yeah, one more thing that I saw that was interesting to me. Artist, the dog with the sunglasses is back. Welcome back. What's up, patient hodler? Yeah, what's up, artist? Glad to have you here. I was actually coming here to the to the tweet of Alfred Kahn. Can you see that? Oh yeah, it's zooming in. Okay. So Alfred Kahn tweeted out this today. And he's saying, feels great to have over 10K people following me. Only 10K? Don't we have 2 million like OMI users? Can some bots follow Alfred Kahn, please? I hope I have touched your lives as all you have touched mine. So this is, yeah, for sure he did, because without him, I would have never played with Pokemon or anything else in my childhood. So certainly he already touched my life in that sense, and now he's about to do it again with the licenses that he gets for OMI that then I will use to make life-changing wealth. This NFT boom has really opened my eyes to the possibilities of creating experiences with IPs in digital form. What do you all believe is the next term of innovation? And I think it's a really cool guy. I like Alfred Kahn a lot when I hear him speaking, when I read the article about him. And he wants to open, like, this tweet is not him just having to tweet out something to get followers. He doesn't do that. But he is genuinely interested in what people think about the future trends, and that's something we should listen to. And we have some guys here, and actually this is crazy, right? You see big things coming. So what does he mean by that? Like, this is this an outlook for Veve? I mean, it certainly is, right? He likes to play around with this stuff. So he is chatting here with the people. The Taurus here is saying interoperability, sending Veve NFTs to various platforms with the IMX ecosystem. Each platform having a different utility for our NFTs, each gaming, social, etc. So that would be really cool. And I've said that before. Like, there are gaming verticals coming. There's trading card games that for sure we're going to see in some form on Immutable, on Veve. So yeah, there's just these threads, these questions. So he has the power and the reach to ask the right people here in the space. So first of all, if you want, contribute to that. And secondly, I think it's worth reading through what people are saying to that. So obviously on the red circle, you see that almost everyone who follows him is from OMI. So they are coming up with a lot of ideas, like kids version of Veve Junior. So that's a good idea. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Let me know. Artist is saying gaming is gonna be insane for the NFT market. Yeah, I think so too. And actually, they have already started. Unfortunately, not on Veve yet. I think was it Call of Duty was launching some gaming NFT, or Ubisoft. I think it was Ubisoft that was launching some gaming NFTs on Polygon or Solana or something like that. But it's still like they are testing around what the best platform is. And honestly, if you have a platform like Veve, and if you have a platform like Veve, let's be honest, like, why wouldn't you want to invest or to put your NFT on a platform where 60,000 editions sell out in under a second and 2 million people get mad about not getting the drop? Like, honestly, it's like press a button and print $3 million in 1 second. That is what happened today with Black Panther. Why in the hell wouldn't you want to team up with a marketplace like that? Because I haven't seen any other project that is capable of selling NFTs like that. And that's the reason why I'm invested in it. Ole says, have you tried Epico Regal? I've actually seen that Daniel Lee and some others are trying it out now. I'm fully aware you have seen my videos about Epico Regal, and it's on my list on the weekend to try it out. So yes, I'm going to try it out just because it will run on OMI as an independent project, as Venkatesh, the founder here says, will use OMI as probably an in-game currency. And that also will be very interesting for the OMI price if other projects are using that. And maybe we are seeing the Epico Regal or Regal, Epico Regal probably is the right name. I'm always saying Regal because I'm a German. Fred says, gaming need to sort out their tokenomics. Lots of games have failed that are not really mentioned on the media. You are talking about decentralized gaming, so like metaverses, but the gaming NFTs that we are talking about are like, for example, Counter-Strike weapon skins, World of Warcraft drops that are being minted and that are scarce and something like that. Even mini gaming with Marvel Mighties, or having cars, like let's take the Ecomi cars and bikes and being able to put them on a racetrack and have like Mario Kart similar races or Formula One similar races, right? So that would be like an NFT that you can use in a game, or NFTs that are items from a game that are now truly yours. So that in the World of Warcraft analogy, I don't know if you have played, but I've played a lot of this game. That would mean even if you stop paying your subscription to play in World of Warcraft, you would still have your Thunder Fury in your, or like a legendary sword in your wallet that you are then able to transfer to someone else to sell it or just to keep it, and you know that there's a limited supply from boss loot and from forging these things. So that would be basically my idea of a gaming NFT in that sense. And but you're right, in terms of decentralized gaming and metaverse, there are a lot of projects that are failing, and actually a lot of people are investing in Mana and Decentraland, in Sandbox and all these other plays, and I think they are very similar to real games, and real games have a short life cycle, except games like Age of Empires 2, World of Warcraft, like these evergreen. There are some evergreens like in music that people still listen to, still play on radio. But most of the games, they are being played like PUBG, and then they die. And metaverse plays, I think also, if you don't discover them early and take profit so that you cannot lose out anymore, it's very risky to go into those, because the next might be right around the corner, might be better, and might be the killer of Decentraland. Because they are all hyping like, yeah, this Nike company has a store on my metaverse, like McDonald's has something, Samsung does do advertisement on the metaverse. But the fact of the matter is, no pun intended, but the fact of the matter is that these shops, they will not say, I am fully committed to Decentraland. I will say, no, every metaverse that is good and this is coming around will have a Nike shop and whatever, I don't know, whatever distribution of some stores, because they will just build up a presence to distribute their brand, right? They will not be exclusive to that. There will be, in every metaverse, there will be such a store. Fred's continuing to say, referring to crypto games like Bomb Crypto, unsustainable tokenomics, where majority of people are in the minus even after 3 months of playing. Yeah, exactly. So play to earn games, like all of this stuff, I'm very skeptical about it. You can make a decent money, but I think you have projects like OMI and your exit is not in the next 6 months planned, right? But then if I would be massively in profits on Sandbox, Decentraland, I would already take a huge chunk of profit right now, because I know what could happen to those life cycles. Like, I completely agree with you. I think that's good thought, and we should distinguish. It's also like, you have those investments where you say, if I double my money on that, I take half of it out, I cannot lose, and then we see where it goes. And then there are investments like OMI, and for me, it's also VeChain and Chili's, that you just have your money in and you continue to see them flourish and grow, and you know that the huge impact will come in the future, right? So you don't have to agree with me on those projects, but for me, these are examples of some projects that just take time to build up. Artist says, agreed. However, I think, for example, Fortnite has raised the bar quite high and has really started a new revolutionary meta when it comes to the market of aesthetics and whatnot. Yeah, exactly. I think so. This whole thing, like with Fortnite and with the way they apply skins, and like you want to own these items and these, I think, these dances. I've never played Fortnite, but I've looked at some gaming streams, and I agree with you where the aesthetics are. But on the other hand, we cannot forget that this is a game, and games are in the trend. It's not a business application or something like that. So there could be the next better game right around the corner, and some of these really kill the next one, or some of these wear out. Like, look at Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike 1.6 was the shooter for every LAN party. And then I think they brought out this other, what was that? Counter-Strike. What was the second version of Counter-Strike after 1.6? It was like Source, I think. Counter-Strike Source. And then they brought out Global. So they have these lifespans. Yeah, good old yeah, good old days when you had to ask your mom to drive you over to a friend's house with a computer, with a LAN cable, and you sit together with Coke, not Coke, like, please, YouTube algorithm, don't kill me for that. I meant a Coke, a drink, to play on a LAN party, right? Yeah, so exactly. Oh man, good old times. It's so good that I have some people around here that I can actually that can relate to all of this. So the Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne, or Warcraft 3 mods, Dota with a bomb goblin hero there, and all these little bugs and tower defenses that you could play. Yeah, and also then this get-togethers, like 10 people in a basement for World of Warcraft. So we have, like, that was one time, and this time had a specific feeling, and that time had its charm, like the unique games that no one plays anymore, like really no one. There's maybe a niche, but no one plays that anymore. Like CS 1.6, World of Warcraft Classic had a revival. People wanted to relive this experience, and it honestly wasn't as it was before. And all of this stuff. So flat screens that were not flat, like computer screens that were not flat, but really big. And it was such an act to get this over to a house of a friend. So there were good old times. But now we are in other times, all right? Now there's another feeling to it, and it's also probably for the younger folks, it's even really good feeling. They are all about the NFTs and putting them to use, and they will grow up with NFTs. And as everything that is early in the markets, I think that is with NFTs too. So if you think back, Pokemon, right? One of my favorite examples, not talking about Pokemon and Veve, but Pokemon. You have like booster boxes that are worth, first prints that are worth, if there's somewhere in your basement one, $50,000 because it was the first. Like there's a first print seal on it that makes all the difference. There is a shadowless border that is just so little of a difference to the next version, and still, like, the price difference is insane. So if you pick those Pokemon booster boxes and you compare them to like having the first NFT, like the first licensed NFTs ever, and that's also comparable because besides Pokemon, there were other card games, other card trading games. No one's interested in that and opening those anymore. But Pokemon is a brand, is a license, and was a huge success. And now like put that transfer onto Veve. We are having the first Batman NFTs, the first Disney NFTs, the first ever digital Marvel comics, the first ever appearances of Captain America, Invisible Woman, The Thing, Superman, and so on. And you know what I'm talking about. Now, having the first after a while can generate massive value, as we can see that one tiny booster pack, only the pack, that could maybe have a holographic card in it is like $500, like $500 worth, only that one booster pack with a couple of cards in it. And now, don't make the mistake to really compare the two of like with an NFT and the booster box, because the market for the booster box is way more difficult than the market for the NFT. Because if you would have had digital accessibility and an overview in the metadata of the scarcity of how many booster boxes are still out there, then you would have another way faster price development than waiting 20 years to get it from 50 euros to 50,000 euros, or $50 to $50,000, right? I mean, it's still 1000x, but I think in the NFT space, it will, the 100x, even the 1000x, it will come way faster than we think. And actually, if you look at, for example, Donnie, from the drop price to now is already 1000x, right? Or for the first comic, 699 to 60,000 is already it has already pumped that hard. So, anyways, Mr. T-Boon says you look too young to have lived through LAN party times. That's actually not true. I look young, but I'm not. I'm born in '89, so there was still, when I was born, there was 4 more weeks the wall of Berlin, and that cracked down then 4 weeks after that. So that's how old I really am. So that puts me at what, 32 years. But thanks for the compliment. So yeah, I have actually I have lived. I cannot complain. Fred says, nice catching you live the first time. Time to sleep. Fred, thank you so much for all the questions. Sleep well and have a nice evening or whatever. And yeah, hope to see you on the next live stream as well. Sunday, usually around this time. So yeah, hope to see you there. Just some final words because we end this here, because I'm streaming already 1.5 hours. I actually cannot complain about my childhood and all these memories in that sense with what we have lived through, because I had the possibility to read Harry Potter and be at the exact age of Harry Potter every time the book came out. So like I think I was 11 and he starts out with 11 years when that book came out. So I was always in that feeling. Then you have I had the Pokemon, like I had the blue version and the Blastoise version for a Game Boy, and then I had the yellow version. No, I played the blue version at a friend, and then I got the yellow version from my friends from Pokemon Game Boy. From my parents, I want to say. So I played the blue version at my friends. I got the yellow version from my parents, and then I had the silver version with the Lugia on it, also from my parents. So I had Pokemon. I had some cards, but in the majority I missed out on the cards because I had no money, and my parents thought it was bullshit. So I had that. Then I had all the time with World of Warcraft, and yeah, so that was exciting. I mean, there's so much more if I would think back that we had and did, and this is only like the things that come to mind relating to collectibles, right? So yeah, I mean, good old childhood, right? Then Cornish says, I'm Generation X. I remember dial-up. Internet is a dream. Actually, I remember we had that really early. I remember not that dial up maybe, but I remember the sounds that the modem made when it tried to connect to the internet. And I remember restarting the computer in DOS mode to play Prince of Persia 2D. So that was way before the real computer games. And then there was a German, I think it's German production game that was called Gothic 1 and Gothic Raven's Night. And that was my first form of playing together, like online with someone. I used to call my best friend by phone, and we played that game, and it was a single player. And we always updated each other on what quest we are and where we were, and it was kind of the feeling to play together like in an online world, but it was not like that yet. So yeah, Mr. T-Bone says blue version best. Yeah, of course, indeed, it is. Red version, I mean, red version was Charizard, also really good. Our test says 56k KW. Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. Now I was thinking about what is 56k. Are you talking about the price of a collectible? But probably you're talking about some internet connection, right? Yeah, I remember those times very vivid. And Tyler X is here. Tyler X has a prediction or the question: no exchange until 2024. Why? What makes you say that? I remember I said on my I put on my roadmaps the exchanges around before Christmas to summer this year, and I was criticized so heavily for it because people said it will come end of January, and I was like, hey guys, I'm putting a conservative approach to this because I think things might take longer than they usually do with Ecomi and Veve, as we already know of. So are exchanges coming only in 2024? I don't think so. Are they coming end of February? Nah, I don't think so. Because first of all, they said, and secondly, it takes a while. Probably there's a queue, like Ecomi now has to wait for all the shitcoins to get listed first, and then they can get listed on some exchanges. I don't know, maybe that's the reason. I've shown that there are some things, due diligence, that you have to do, like audits for standards, like proving that there are no security gaps and so on and so on. So I don't know what the process is, but I'm pretty sure that we are going to see major exchanges this year and probably around like before or around summer. But yeah, kind of think they try to hype up on OMI to dump the unlocks. But so either the current price action is already a dump on unlocks, or let me just get back to this. So either, I mean, we had founder unlocks here and then we got dumped on, right? But I still think it's ex-founders that are dumping and getting out money for like doing other projects, founding their own company, getting money out because or trying to hurt the Ecomi price or selling at some points that they believe is a good time to exit quickly. They don't want to hold for 1 or 2 more years because they need the money right now. So that's kind of what I theorize about the ex-founder unlocks. In terms of founder unlocks, I think they are not. I think we could see that, but we should be able to see that if these wallets are massively selling off. I don't know if there's proof. Would be interesting. Please send it to me. Yeah. Cornish Crypto says they said we would get listed soon after swapping to ERC20 token. So yeah, what I mean in terms of Veve, what is soon? What is soon? Because the ERC20 swap is done since 20 days. And actually, it's not 100% completed because we still have 2 exchanges that have not performed the swap fully for their clients, like OKX and Ascendex, right? But yeah, so what is soon after? Like a month after, 1.5 months after? I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. I hope it, but I hope it will come. Weird that gates still don't have swap. Do they have to pay exchange to swap, you think? I mean, they're probably going to pick all their massive, like all the Ecomi masses, and swap them once. Like, I don't know, do they have to put every wallet through a swap? Or can they swap like all at once that is on the exchange? I don't know. Probably, because probably they're just allocating what's on the exchange wallet and display it in your account. No, you have a wallet address, so it's on your wallet. So probably they have to spend some Go tokens to perform the swap or something like that, and some ETH. But I think it's taking them so long because like Gate.io is really juggling a lot of coins. So probably they have just some priority list on what they have to do, and then they had Chinese New Year, so probably they just put it somewhere at, yeah, we are going to do it at some point. But yeah, so tokens are locked in, mine as well. I'm on Gate. So yeah, we will see, but I'm not in a hurry, so it's not possible to withdraw them anyway, so I'm not worried. Yeah, but that's basically it, guys. I'm talking about 1.5 hours already. So I hope you liked the stream. I hope you liked the insights, theorizing a little bit about Wyckoff accumulation, even though it might not be true, but I still wanted to get the thought out. And the other infos that we got about burning and what we theorized about the wallets. So I hope you liked all that. And if so, please let me know in the comments below. If you're watching this afterwards, subscribe to my channel, hit some likes on this stream, please. And see you in the... No, wait, I fucked that up. So wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And see you in the next video or live stream.